How do you start an online business without any experience in any area? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button.
Hi, I'm Dan Henry. I used to deliver pizza and sell water bottles to pay my rent. Then I discovered entrepreneurship and grew a $20 million online business. Subscribe to my channel and I'll show you how.
Hey everybody, Dan Henry here, and today's question comes from DVD Canada. Hi Dan, I think it would be very interesting to talk about how to start an online business without any experience in any specific area. I take that question as you want to start an online, and by the way, every business these days, almost every business is online. So like business, online business, whatever, right? I would say that when you want to start an online business with no expertise in any area, you are setting yourself up for absolute failure, because the only way to run a successful business is to find yourself in some sort of experience, or at least the expectation that you will be building that experience. And here's what I mean by that. So let's say you want to start an online business and you're not an expert at anything, you don't have any experience, etc. For me, the answer is go get experience. Like, here's how I started, right? I had a bar in Spring Hill, Florida that I purchased, and I needed to get people to it. We remodeled it and we needed people to know about it. So I was like, okay, how do I get people to know about it? I learned to run online advertising, Facebook ads, and I learned social media, and I got people to it, and the bar flourished. And even when I started the bar, here's the funny thing about that. I was walking down the street and I went to some shop or something. I think I was getting like, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was walking by and I noticed that there was this bar that was closed down. And I looked inside, I peered inside, and I saw this awesome bar. And I had always in my head thought about owning a bar. And so I noticed that there was a leasing office right next to it. So I go to the leasing office and I say, hey, what's the deal with this bar? They said, oh, you know, it was a bar and the person didn't pay their rent, so we locked the doors, we kept all their equipment, all their liquor, everything, right? And we're just looking for a new tenant. I said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You have a bar, it's fully stocked, fully operational, there's equipment, there's liquor, everything I would need, and you're just asking for a tenant to come in and pay the first month's rent, and that's it? And she's like, yeah. And so in my brain, I was like, this is an opportunity. How often does an opportunity like that show up in your life? Like, most people would have to like rent a space, search for equipment, buy equipment, build out the bar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, all right, and I never owned a bar or nothing. So I said, okay, here's a check. I handed her a check for $2,500 for the first month's rent. She said, okay, great. I signed the lease on the spot. Literally, I think I was like picking up something. I used to own a dog. I think I was picking up something for my dog at this like dog place. And I literally just stopped by and I came home and I owned a bar. Like it was that crazy. And so I started watching Bar Rescue. I binge watched Bar Rescue like it was a Netflix special. And as I was waiting to move in and all that, I binge watched, I went on YouTube, I learned about remodeling and making things look cool. So when we went in, we cleaned up the place. It took about 30 days to remodel, and we didn't do like crazy remodel, it was just cosmetic stuff, but we made it look like super nice. We opened up, we ran Facebook ads to this grand opening, and we made it this big thing. And that, you know, I remember my father saying, you know, when it was all over, because it ended up being successful, it was a successful bar, and it was a successful venture. I actually flipped it for a 6-figure profit 14 months after I bought it, and it became successful. And then from there, because I knew how to run online advertising, I started doing it as a service, and then eventually I did it as consulting, and boom, 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 right? So it all just kind of flowed. And I remember I was sitting at a poker night with my father and some people, and one of my buddies leans over and he goes, I don't understand. He's like, you didn't know jack about owning a bar. You don't know jack about advertising. You don't know jack about this. You don't know jack about that. How did you make that bar so popular? How did you do that? And my father goes, I'll answer that. I was actually going to answer it very differently, but when my dad answered it, he answered it better than I ever could. So now I use his answer. He said, my son, if he needs to know something and he doesn't know it, he simply goes out and learns it. And I thought about that and I went, yeah, that's right. I saw an opportunity to open a bar. I didn't know anything about opening a bar, so I watched Bar Rescue every night for like a month. I mean, and that's it. And I just was like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm just gonna watch that and do what he says. And I did it and it worked, and we became the most popular bar in town. And I flipped it for 6 figures. I mean, who does that? You know what I mean? And I'm not taking credit for that at all. I'm just saying that I listened to somebody who knew what they were doing, and I just did what they said, and that was it. So I really can't take credit for it. But the point here is that if you want to own a successful business, stop wondering how to find a business that allows you to not have any expertise and go get expertise. Like, it's not that hard. If you want to learn how to, I don't know, build websites, you say, okay, well, I'm going to start a business where I build websites and I charge people for that. Go learn to build websites. I mean, I guess you could start like an e-commerce store, but again, you're still gonna have to learn about e-commerce. You're still gonna have to learn like Amazon ads and Shopify. You're gonna have to learn something. So like, for me, I would say stop worrying about not having expertise and take the time you're sitting there pondering this unicorn situation and just go get expertise. Go read books, go research things. And as you begin exploring and expanding your mind and learning more about what makes things move and tick in the world, you will find what you resonate with the most. You will find your superpower. I mean, think about this. Like, imagine you never played sports and you then went out and for 1 week played every sport there is. You played baseball for a week, then you played basketball for a week, then you played golf for a week, and you just tried out all these sports. And yeah, you would suck at all of them because it's your first time doing all of them because you never played sports. But you don't think that one of them would stand out? You don't think one of those would like sort of be like, oh wow, I'm a natural at this. Oh wow, this seems a lot easier or a lot more fun than the rest, right? And that's the thing, is that's where you find your zone of genius. You find your superpower. You got to get out there and mix it up. You got to get out there and try things. If you're not out there learning, how are you ever going to know what you're a natural at? So stop worrying about not having expertise and go out and consume information and of things that matter, and you will find what matters most to you. That's my advice there. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Let me know in the comments, what question do you have that you would like me to answer? And I might just do that. All right, see y'all in the next one.